Hey guys, welcome back to Dislyte. In today's video, I wanted to do a beginner's guide to team building for early progression. So the most important team arguably that you build is your first progression team, because it's going to get you through to farming your relics, which is then going to let you snowball into the rest of the game and then build whatever characters you want for what you want to focus on. But I want to talk about the team that you build for your story progression in towards getting into Chronos 10. So let's jump in. I managed to get to Chronos 10 in 3 days, but I did have Lin Xiao. She's completely broken. If you have her, use her. She's amazing. But I want to talk about basic team building concepts, and then I'll tell you what the free-to-play team that I would build would be. The first thing I want to talk about is the DPS units. Now, when we work through the campaign, we will get a 4-star attack set of relics. The four set, I think that comes from chapter 4 or 5, maybe 6. Don't quote me. But then once you clear chapter 9, you also get a 5-star set of Hades relics. Now, this is really nice because both of these sets that you get are focused around damage stats. You'll have crit rate on the slot on this slot, and then you'll have attack on this slot when you get those relics. So it gives you 2 good relic sets for attackers. Now, when I build early teams, I only like to use 2 attackers. Reason being, you've got those 2 really nice sets. And if you try and build more attackers, I find your team gets left without enough sustain, and also you don't have enough good attack sets. So you're trying to use 3-star relics for attackers, and they're just really squishy, but they're not really dealing much damage anyway. So I like to stick to 2 attackers at most. And something that I like to do, because everyone will have either Li Ling or Wukong, and normally that's what they're going with. Once again, I always recommend going for Li Ling for your reroll, but if you have Wukong, it kind of applies the same here. So what I like to do is put the attack set. I now have 2 Hades sets, that's why he's on Hades. But for progression, I like to put the attack set of relics onto my Li Ling or your Wukong. The reason for that is they both have an ability that heals themselves. Both of them have a heal on their skill too. So this is really nice that they've already got sustain. So they don't need the Hades set as much as your secondary DPS. Now, I did use Lin Xiao. If I didn't have Lin Xiao, I would have been using Drew. Drew would have been my go-to choice if I was free to play. I will eventually, well, to be fair, I've only bought a $10 stamina pack, and that's it. But I will do a full free-to-play playthrough eventually, and I will use Drew for my unit. Reason being, we'll just keep it basic. He's just got high single target damage with a defense break, which is really nice, and he can also do AoE clears with his ability, which can also ignore defense on secondary units. But he would be the one. So for me, but also check your 4 stars, check your 5 stars. If you got a good DPS unit, go nuts. But like I said, for the relics, him on the attack set or Wukong on the attack set, and your other DPS will get the Hades set, so that they can both sort of self-sustain themselves enough that your healers don't have to heal every time these guys get low, because they can always deal damage and heal themselves up. Now, past that, you got your 2 DPS. The next thing I like to look at is 3 support units. Now, I like running double healer, and the final support unit can be pretty much anything that you can slot in. So I run double healer with Changpu and also Helena. Now, a lot of people hate Helena. Changpu is really good. We've got an AoE heal with immunity. We've got a single target heal that's really strong. The fantastic thing about these 3 stars is that they are very easy to skill up. You get these Abilimon, and you can just skill them up, and you get a lot of them early on in the game. Now, when you are skilling these guys up, try and get the cooldowns on skill 2 and skill 3. And if you don't max out skill 1, that's good. Save those skill ups for the next character that you're looking to. So I use Changpu. Now, if you have a really good stunning unit that can buy you time, you can probably do a single healer team. But I didn't have any of those units, so I just ran double healer, and it just gave me enough sustain to keep going. And I ran Helena. Now, a lot of people will tell you that Helena is the worst healer in the game, and it's probably true. Well, it is true, I'd say, for a dedicated healer. However, when you compare her at max skills, because she's a 3-star and she's easy to max skill, compared to some of the 4 or 5 stars at 0 skill ups, I like Helena. So that's why I used her. You don't have to. You can listen to everyone else's advice and, say that she's crap. That's cool. But I still used her because why not, for the memes. But That's those two slots. So Changpu's a no-brainer for free to play, and then another healer if you have it. If not, you can do a really strong control unit. For your final unit, the unit I would recommend is going to be right here with Yeshua. Now, the problem with Yeshua is that you need to get her from Ripple dungeons, which absolutely suck. Basically, I'm not going to go full into Ripple dungeons. I'll probably do a whole discussion on that in another video, but make sure you've got a fully online active friends list. Purge it when you jump on. Go into the chat and say, everyone, I'm looking for Ripple dungeons. Add me if you are too. You'll get a bunch of friends that are online. And then if someone procs a Ripple dungeon, you can go in there and see if she's got it. Also, then you'll have to look at chat, see if you can get one, and away you go. It's an absolute nightmare, but if you can get her, she's great. If not, look for some other sort of support unit, like something with defense buff, attack breaks, anything like that is really valuable. So if I was playing a full free-to-play account and I had no luxury units, I would be using Li Ling and Drew as my DPS units, and then I would be using Changpu and Helena, and then finally I would be using Yeshua. Now, something to consider as we progress. The reason I like going with the 3 support units, and if you had a strong CC unit, a stunning unit or something like that, I would also gear them with relics based around speed, HP, and defense. So all these support units, you want to do the same. You want to go speed, HP, and defense. You want speed so that they can lower their cooldowns quicker and use, you know, their healing and support abilities. And then the stunning units are the same. Sometimes some of them may be strong as DPS units, but if you build them tanky, they can survive longer. And if you build them fast, they can cycle through and stun enemy units faster. So that's the way I like to build them. And like I said, you won't have that many good damage relic sets. So you might find yourself with a DPS not doing much damage, but dying really quickly. So stacking those you know, HP, defense, and speed is much more beneficial. And the next thing to look at with your beginner team is going to be the resonance system. So the resonance system is really cool. The thing is, if you're using 3 stars or if you've pulled dupe 4 stars, do the resonance as soon as you get them. They're really, really powerful. So if we go here, let's see if you've got resonance that I can do to demonstrate this. I got 3. So here we go. We're going to go resonate. And the reason you want to do these as soon as you get them is because it's going to give you bonus stats, but it's not actually wasting the fodder either because you get the 3-star Starimon as well. And then you can allocate some of these stats. And like I said, you can have a 3-star unit, but you can still get it to 6-star resonance and get like 24% extra on one of your stats. So I'm just going to put 2 in HP here just to do an example. We're going to hit for confirm. You can hit the popularity button to find out what most people do. It only costs you 20 gems to reset. And when we do that, it's actually going to add on to, if I could, it doesn't add on to the base stats. It's just additive on the right hand side based on what your base stat is. So that's how those percentage stats works, but really nice to do the resonance as soon as you can. Gives you a bunch of extra stats. It can give you like half a relic's worth of stats, which is really nice. Well, main stat anyway. So that is what I would look at doing. Now, talking about other skill ups, if you got a really strong 4-star or 5-star using, look at doing the skill ups. As for your Li Ling or Wukong, I personally wouldn't skill them up. I'd rather get the cooldown reductions on some of my support units so that I can stay alive more than just deal extra damage. Now, I did get Lin Xiao, who is an absolute godly 4-star across the entire game, and she was the first 4-star I got. So I maxed her out straight away. The cool thing is, if you're free to play and you're using Drew or something like that, you can also do him max. So that is pretty much the main gist of all the tips that I have for beginner teams. Now, once you can farm Sonic Miracle 7 is when I recommend looking at doing the fusion. I've got a whole video talking about that. The fusion is really strong as well. But with the team of Li Ling, Drew, the 2 healers, and then also if we can get Yeshua in the team, you should be pretty fine to progress through up until Chronos 10, and I am going to experiment with that myself. I did use a similar team in one of my soft launch accounts. However, they did do a bunch of changes since then, so I will do another run through and test all that. If you guys do have any other suggestions, feel free to throw them in chat. Like I said, these are just my thoughts on team building for beginners. You know, everyone's got different ideas. Like I said, most people hate Helena, but you know, she's cheap and not too bad to me. Now, the thing about Helena is that if you do end up using Drew, you will have a lot less skill ups. So you'll probably end up skilling up Changpu, leaving Helena, and then hoping to pull a 4-star. But still, if you can't, check what support units you have, and hopefully you can make something work. But as always, check your 4 stars, because if you have a good 4-star support, then, you know, maybe that's going to be a lot better and you can skill that up. If you have a godly 4-star damage dealer like Lin Jiao, then you skill that up and then you have 3 stars available for something else to skill up. Now, when we look deeper at Chronos, specifically Chronos 10, like I said, I was doing it with these units here after I made the Gabriel Fusion. I did not have Yeshua at the time. I'm pretty sure I could have done it with Yeshua as well, but the Gabriel Fusion, I got a whole video on that. Wait till you can farm Sonic 7. I will do deeper in-depth guides into free-to-play teams and stuff like that for all of the dungeons in the future, but I figured early teams are the ones you really want to focus on for getting through that progression. And like I said, those are my tips. Take them if you want, leave them if you will. But thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.